There's just so much.
You're listening to a Mamamia podcast.
Mamamia acknowledges the traditional owners of land and waters that this podcast is recorded on. Hello, it's Jessie here. As you know, we here at Cancelled are the patron saints of lazy girls. We like not doing anything. And after a year of hard work, we've decided that we're going to take a little break and not record anything for a little while. But we didn't want to leave you high and dry with no Cancelled in your life because we also care about you, our fellow lazy girls. So for the next few weeks, we're going to drop some of our all-time favourite episodes back into your feed. Now, there's some from ages ago that you've probably missed that are still completely relevant because these people are still very cancelled. We thought you would enjoy. We hope they can be a little soundtrack to your own lazy girl summer. Enjoy it. You deserve it. We will be back, working not too hard, but slightly more in the new year. Hi there and welcome to Cancelled, a podcast from Mamamia about who's in, who's out and who cares. I'm Jessie Stevens. I'm an author and a writer at Mamamia. I'm Claire Stevens. I'm an editor and a writer, and I'm Jessie's twin sister. And we co-host this podcast which follows the story of a celebrity's cancellation, and then we, as two very powerful, clever and interesting people, decide the appropriate punishment. Yes, and I will pick up just there you said cancelled people. We're not saying they're necessarily cancelled. No, God no, we can't make that call. It's just people who have got in a little bit of trouble. People who have the cancelled vibe. Yes. That's what it is. Because there's no measurement. It's just like, did people get mad for a while about this person? Yes, they got in trouble. There were people yelling on the internet. And our favourite is when somebody is literally trolling us. So it's a cancellation where it's like, that person was trying to be cancelled. And I love that. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun for everyone to talk about. Yes. And that is the case with today's subject. And it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
The jade egg is an ancient Chinese practice where women insert the jade egg in their lady parts.
Right.
And to help tone the pelvic floor.
How does it help do that?
I don't know. I need to start my jade egg practice.
You've never been on this website before, have you?
Gwynny has been trolling us since 2008, and honestly, I'm here for it. And here is my structure for today's episode. There's a lot of little bits because she's been trolling us in all the ways. Number one, conscious uncoupling. That was annoying. That was annoying. The moment, and it was annoying. Part B, vaginal steaming. That took things to the next level. Part I, being intentionally stung by bees. Ouch. You might think, why? We'll get to that. Part IV, jade eggs into vagina. Okay, specifically. Part next one, beauty routine. And finally, best quotes. That is a lot of parts. It's a lot of parts, but I promise we're going to get through all of them. It's a jam-packed courtroom today. As you always do in court, you need a bit of an introduction. Who is this person in front of me? This alleged criminal. Gwyneth Paltrow is an actress, model, businesswoman, singer and author. She's 49 and she's won an Academy Award, a Golden Globe and an Emmy. She's in movies like Sliding Doors, Shakespeare in Love, Shallow Hal. Speaking of cancellation. That movie needs to be cancelled. That movie is about horrific. That movie is about a man who had something wrong with him, so he saw a fat woman as a skinny woman. And then he fell in love with her and wondered why everyone else was laughing at her. And then he discovered that she was actually fat and struggled to love her for her personality. It's so fucked up. How did that get made? Who greenlighted it? Gwynny. No, Gwynny didn't greenlight it. But she played a character. She did. Gwyneth's mum is Blythe Danner. And I've always been really fascinated by that because I just didn't know. And if you don't know her, she's from Meet the Parents and relatedly Meet the Fockers. Okay? She's great. Of note, Gwyneth wasn't very good at singing in the movie duets. When she sang, I got Betty Davis sides. That's how she sang. I'm better than her. Movie. I got Betty Davis. In 2008, Goop launched as a weekly lifestyle newsletter So that's Gwyneth's little business. That's where things seem to go a little bit wacky. Today, she's married to producer Brad Falchuk, and she has a daughter, Apple, and son, Moses, with her first husband, Chris Martin from Coldplay, which brings us to conscious uncoupling. In 2014, Gwyneth and Coldplay frontman Chris Martin announced they would be divorcing after 10 years of marriage in a statement that was published on Goop. And I just want to say, does she make some wrong calls? Yes. Is she a genius? Yes.
Also, yes.
It was published as like a Goop newsletter. In it, Gwyneth used the term conscious uncoupling and everyone went nuts. In short, they thought it was wanky.
It is wanky.
It is. In 2020, she wrote this mammoth essay for Vogue basically about how she changed the world with conscious uncoupling. For context, Gwyneth, she does think she invented everything. She's one of those people. She thinks she invented everything. She thinks she invented yoga. In 2018, she said, I discovered yoga. I did yoga before it was cool.
No.
You guys wouldn't have yoga if it weren't for me.
Okay, sweetie, it existed 5,000 years ago in India, and she did one downward dog.
Yeah.
And was like,
People didn't do yoga till I did yoga.
guys,
How did you start doing yoga, Gwyneth?
where did you find it? What studio did you go to? There's that story of her going into a studio and someone's like, have you done yoga before? And she's like, honey.
You only have your job because I did yoga. Oh, Gwyneth. So even though it was technically her therapist who introduced her to conscious uncoupling,
Interesting.
it was really her who launched it. The thing about this Vogue article is that it is stunningly written.
That's because someone else wrote it.
It's because someone else wrote it. And that's fine. But this is one of the lines about her marriage being over. I don't recall when it happened exactly. I don't remember which day of the weekend it was or the time of day. But I knew, despite long walks and longer lie-ins, big glasses of Barolo and hands held, my marriage was over.
It's just not true. When you divorce, you hate each other a little bit. And this bullshit about we're in love and we respect each other and we're both parents and blah, 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 but we're going on different paths. It's not how it happened. You had a petty fight and I want to know what about.
I know. I need to know what the children saw.
Are they in therapy?
Yeah.
Are you in therapy? Who's in the wrong?
I know. She also writes, I had never heard of the phrase conscious uncoupling. Frankly, the term sounded a bit full of itself, painfully progressive and hard to swallow. It still does, sweetie.
Yeah.
It was an idea introduced to us by our therapist, the man who helped us architect our new future. I was intrigued, less by the phrase, but by the sentiment. Was there a world where we could break up and not lose everything? Could we be a family even though we were not a couple? We decided to try. You're that person on Instagram is all I'll say to that. You're that person on Instagram who it's very...
Meanders.
And it's very, you need to romanticize your life. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
She's romanticizing her life. She's like, we decided to try.
It's like a picture of her walking away on a beach and underneath it's like, today I was wondering, is it about my relationship with others or is it about my relationship with myself?
That's exactly what it is.
Hashtag gratitude? I don't know.
Hashtag conscious uncoupling. She says once she announced her conscious uncoupling, the public surprise gave way quickly to ire and derision.
That was me.
Me too. A strange combination of mockery and anger that I had never seen.
If on my tombstone, can you write a strange combination of mockery
And anger that I had never seen? I would say this podcast is a great combination of mockery and anger.
tagline?
Mockery and anger. The Gwynny has never seen. But I did want to say it's not that we were surprised. It's because she says the public surprised because everyone was so surprised by her divorce.
Just needed a laugh.
We just needed a bit of a ha-ha.
And it was a ha-ha because you're getting divorced.
And
that's very serious, okay? Because serious things have happened. We're separating our money. Every time I listen to Clocks, I think, what did Chris Martin do with Gwyneth?
yeah.
Were they on the same page?
Green eyes, shines upon you. Well, does Gwyneth have green eyes? Because I thought her eyes were blue.
Who's it about?
Who's it
Chris?
about then?
They just don't seem like they're on the same page, but I digress.
She says conscious uncoupling followed the same cycle as most things at Goop. She says it became just part of the cycle. I, or we at Goop, introduce something unfamiliar. There's a big reaction before gradual cultural adoption. Although at times it has been painful, especially early on, I have come to love this role in the cycle and the curiosity that drives it. So she says that conscious uncoupling has now permeated the breakup culture, and instead of people approaching me with, why did you say that? They now approach me with, how do you do that?
Okay. I feel like the cultural response to Gwyneth Paltrow forever can be summed up as follows. You're not better than us. You're not better than us. And you think you are.
You think you are better than us because your hair's neat, your skin's glowing.
Yeah. Your teeth are white.
You're doing a lot of yoga.
And you're telling me about unconscious uncoupling? I can't even say it. You know why?
Conscientious uncoupling.
You're all about your conscientious uncoupling. Well, you know what I want? Some pettiness. We all need a little bit of pettiness post-divorce.
And it's just not a fun story. We
fun.
consciously uncoupled. And now we're like siblings.
No one cares.
Does that mean I can't take the piss because I want to take the piss? Anyway, so that was kind of the first stop on the train, which was Gwyneth being better than us.
Okay.
Well, thinking she's better than us.
Yeah.
Next stop, vaginal steaming. In 2015, Gwyneth Paltrow decided to tell everyone to steam their vages. She said, and I quote, that what you do is you sit on what is essentially a mini throne, and a combination of infrared and mugwort steam cleanses your uterus et al.
What does et al. Stand for in this situation?
Your butthole. I don't know. It is an energetic release, not just a steam douche. I hate the word douche.
Yeah.
That balances female hormone levels.
I don't think the steam can reach your uterus.
I don't think so either. I think your cervix goes, no. Foreign steam and it closes off.
Your cervix has one job, and it's to say no to things like steam.
Yes.
And go, I'm here to protect that uterus.
Yeah.
And it ain't coming up here. And this is the thing. Have I pictured Gwyneth squatting over a mini throne?
Oh,
Brad Falchuk walking in, asking what's happening. The thing I imagine when I see her doing a little squat with some steam is that it might look like the steam's coming out of her vagina. And that one might ask, are you a chimney? Because she would look like an upside down chimney.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, why are you steaming? Where is the fire? And why is it coming out that hole? Which hole? All holes? Steam has to go somewhere.
It's not, you can't tell what hole, I bet.
No.
When you're looking from a distance.
Exactly.
Your butthole steam? Is there a fire in your anus? She said her bits needed a vag steam on the reg.
That's your problem, Grant.
And that's fine. That's actually fine. If you want to steam your vag, you can steam your vag. It's odd. It is not a good use of time, but you can do it. But then she a little bit told everyone else that they should be steaming their vagina, which is dangerous in that you absolutely shouldn't. She called it a golden ticket, and specifically if you're in LA, you have to do it.
No.
You don't have to. And so a 62-year-old Canadian woman did it. She steamed her vagina over a boiling hot pot of herb-infused water. How did you think that ended up, Jessie?
Oh, it got a little bit burned on her vag.
She ended up with second-degree burns. But the article does say she did it twice. And so did she get second-degree burns and do it again? Unclear. Did she get first-degree burns, do it again, second degree?
It's at that point you go, we've got to be taking some ownership.
Yeah.
If we got burns the first time, we recovered, we did it again, that's on you. First time was on Gwyneth, don't get me wrong. Second time was on you.
It was. Dr. Anne Robinson, among every other gyno on the planet, said there are no benefits to steaming your vagina. She said it's warm enough. Any hotter and you'll get unwanted bacteria and a yeast infection. All our orifices are self-cleaning. We've been told this since we were children. For fuck's sake, stop cleaning. Okay, just while we're on it, don't clean out your ears. Don't clean out your nose. Don't clean out your vag. Don't clean out your butthole. It's all fine.
But how about sometimes when you do blow your nose?
Okay. I guess your vagina blows itself. Do you know what I mean? Boogers come out on their own. You don't need to blow it.
Sometimes he sneezes itself.
Yeah.
Every expert you can tell when it comes to the Gwyneth story is just like, for fuck's sake. Afterwards, we've talked about experts and the time wasting that people like Gwyneth do, because experts need to be approached. Hey, just a quick one. Should we be steaming our vagina?
No!
And the doctors are like, we'd have told you. Yeah. It would have been on the memo. When you came out with one, we'd have said, by the way, monthly steam. But we never said that because it's a no.
Yeah.
But Gwyneth said yes.
And it really does distract everybody from, like, there are a lot of issues to do with women's reproductive health, and those doctors are trying to solve them. And instead, they're getting asked questions about steam.
Inundated with women with thrush.
Oh.
How'd you get that? I steamed. Don't.
Can you not? Next, being stung by bees. Intentionally. Not accidentally, because you can get stung by bees. I've been stung by a bee.
I am not in the business of cancelling someone for a bee sting. A non-consensual bee sting.
What I have to say is being intentionally stung by bees feels very primary school. Don't you reckon? There was always the kid at school who's like, I'm going to intentionally get stung by a bee. And you're like, seems like you'll get in trouble from the teacher, but okay. Anyway, she does it.
It was a flex in primary school.
It was a flex. And now she's still doing it. And it's like, you're in your 40s.
And it'll hurt because it's a bee.
In 2016, Gwyneth told the New York Times that she lets bees sting her to fade scars and reduce inflammation. Generally, I'm open to anything. I've been stung by bees. It's a thousands of years old treatment called apitherapy, she said. But man, it's painful.
That's because bees are stinging you on the face.
Shit, it's painful.
You don't need to do that.
You don't need to. She says it's actually pretty incredible if you research it. Weirdly enough, people have researched it. It's dangerous. And in 2018, it was reported that a 55-year-old Spanish woman died following repeated exposures to an acupuncture method that used live stinging bees instead of traditional needles.
Okay. So now we've got a woman with second-degree burns. We've got a woman who died because she got stung.
Yeah. I went really deep on this. And apparently what happens with bees is that, so this woman had been to a few sessions of the bee stinging, and the first one was fine. Well, not fine. It was painful and the bees stung her. But you can actually develop reactions over time to bees. So it's not like, oh, I know I'm not allergic to bees, so I can do this.
Oh.
No.
You can just get a random reaction.
You can develop it. That's why we don't intentionally let bees sting us.
I mean, it's almost like the pain's trying to tell us something.
Exactly.
Stay out of my way.
It just makes me so... I just don't understand why we'd be stung by bees. And it's like freaking find some other solutions to your inflammation. Next, we have the jade egg debacle.
Okay.
It's 2017. Goop began selling a $66 jade egg that it claimed could improve everything from orgasms and hormonal imbalances to feminine energy.
Human women don't lay eggs, and we never have. We don't need to simulate that experience. We give birth in other ways.
Speak for yourself.
I just don't know why we're making women lay eggs like chickens.
Lay eggs. Get stung by bees. Why? So jade eggs are the size of about a golf ball. And the idea is that you keep it in there all day or when you're sleeping. On the Goop website, there's a Q&A with a woman named Shiva Rose. She's an actress and beauty guru who said that she's been using jade eggs for years. She says jade eggs enhance not only your libido, but also your physical appearance. She says, this is a weird one, but I sometimes feel people are more attracted to you when you're carrying a jade egg.
Carrying it like you're just a chicken.
Hen?
Hen?
Do hens lay eggs?
Who lays eggs? Chicken, hens, turkeys.
Whoever
Emus
lays eggs. Emus. She said, my 20-year-old daughter was joking about it one day. We were walking down the street and she was like, Mum, are you wearing a jade egg? Okay, I don't want to be rude, but the reason she said that was because you were walking funny.
You were waddling.
You were waddling. You had an egg up there. And your daughter said, Mom.
I told you about wearing the egg out in public.
I can see your your egg is hanging out of your shorts.
Mom, stop making...
She's like, are you saying I'm hot? No, Mum, that's not what anyone was saying.
No, Mum, it's just that you've put together a nest. She's putting twigs and leaves together and she's squatting over and it's like, don't you lay your egg here.
We're on the street in a busy city. A California gynecologist named Jen Gunter wrote an open letter to Paltrow saying the eggs and their purported benefits were the biggest load of garbage I have read on your site since vaginal steaming. So
On par.
It's on par. The claim that they can balance hormones is quite simply biologically impossible. Pelvic floor exercises can help with incontinence and even give stronger orgasms for some women, but they cannot change hormones. She also says that the problem is that holding a jade egg, it's not like a pelvic floor exercise because it's like, this was a great analogy, it's like picking up a weight and just holding it in your bicep for a whole day. No,
It's not.
You got to be lifting the weight.
You know, in the Biggest Loser episode, how we talked about functional exercise and how, you know, say pulling a plane isn't something, it comes up a lot. Women don't need to hold on to an egg.
No.
It's not something we've evolved to need to do.
No.
We don't, I will repeat, we do not lay eggs. So it's not.
It's really important for us to communicate that. No egg laying. Gunter also warned that sleeping with a jade egg in one's vagina could lead to bacterial vaginosis or toxic shock syndrome, and that it was an equally bad idea to walk around with them inside. Goop was hit with a $145,000 fine for its unsubstantiated marketing claims and had to refund anyone who purchased the egg from its website. The phone number to claim the refund was 1-844-WTF-GOOP. What the fuck, Goop? Who did that? That was funny.
I like the idea of the jade eggs coming back
Okay.
because they have to be returned and refunded. My idea is that when they refund it, they say, we'd like our jade egg back. And people go, okay, I'll send it back. And it has their vagina juice on it with traces of bacterial vaginosis in the box.
I feel like they get some of the eggs back and they've got feathers on them. Wait, what? Wait, why? Jessie, you've actually stuck a ball in your vag. How was
I
that?
did this a few years ago for 50 Shades of Grey to celebrate because it was in the movie when she put them in and she
What
said...
it's vagina balls is what they call it. It's
Vagina
not
balls.
a jade egg, but it's similar.
Not. It's similar.
Similar shape.
It's meant to be held in there. And I did put them in and when you stand up, they fall on the floor,
Oh.
which is what I think would happen with the jade egg because
weighted. Oh.
gravity, slippery.
Are you meant to squeeze to keep it in?
It didn't say that on the packaging.
So you just...
So it came out. And then we were actually living together when this happened. You made me laugh. Bang on the floor. They just rolled on the floor.
Do you put them back in after they've been on the floor?
I don't
think
know.
so.
You should probably rinse them.
Okay, next point. Her beauty routine.
Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow, and I'm back for my second Beauty Secrets. I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of my daily routine.
Earlier this year, Gwyneth did a Vogue beauty tutorial. She uses $900 worth of products. She's a troll. She is a troll. So much money. She starts by using this dry brush and she's like, you always got to do it towards the heart. Good for circulation and exfoliation. Then it comes to sunscreen. She says there are really harsh chemicals in conventional sunscreen, so that's a product that I really want to avoid. That isn't certified by the EWG.
What's this?
I refuse to look it up on principle. I went, I'll look up and then I went, no, because it's going to be bullshit.
Because, again, we are wasting experts' time.
Yeah.
Because there are people removing skin cancers, putting down their scalpels and saying, excuse me, patient, Gwenny has said something silly.
Yes.
And we need to have a chat.
Exactly. She said, I'm not a head-to-toe slatherer of sunscreen, but I like to put some on my nose and the area where the sun really hits. She's using sunscreen as a highlight. But don't worry, she uses heaps of Goop Glow Lotion.
It ain't the same. The way that the sun works is that it reflects on things, it comes up all over your face. You'll notice it. Sometimes you'll go out, you think you put sunscreen everywhere, suddenly you're burnt behind the knees.
Yes.
And that's the sun saying, even when you think I'm not here,
I'm here.
I'm here. and that's why we put sunscreen on.
She lives in California.
It's too hot there not to be wearing sunscreen.
It really is. And why do all these people think sunscreen's toxic? Why don't they think melanoma's toxic?
I don't know.
So that was her skincare routine, and people were just not happy. Now I've got some quotes that I really want to share. Totally out of context Gwyneth quotes.
To add some flavour.
To add some flavour, to add a mood, to submit into evidence the vibe.
Yeah.
In March 2009, she told LUK, I am who I am. I can't pretend to be somebody who makes $25,000 a year. You can't.
That's what I love about her.
You don't.
She's not apologising for being rich and white and pretty.
Yeah, she's not at all. She said in January 2006, she told The Guardian, I don't really have drunk friends. My friends are kind of adult. They have a drink, but they hold their liquor. I think it's incredibly embarrassing when people are drunk. It just looks so ridiculous. I find it very degrading. Like, same, but I wouldn't say that.
And like, I have adult friends too, but they're all drunks. Like, don't judge them.
Don't judge them for being drunks. In November 2001, she said, beauty fades. I just turned 29, so I probably don't have that many good years left in me.
Okay, I'm 30.
I'm also 30. In July 2011, she said, I'd rather smoke crack than eat cheese from a tin. What's wrong with cheese from a tin? But also, when do you eat cheese from a tin?
Oh, like, I might agree, honestly. I might agree. I don't want cheese from a tin.
I don't want crack.
Me neither.
Then in July 20...
I like her.
She's weird. She's really weird.
She's that friend who you have a group text about and you're like, Gwyneth has said something weird again, but you kind of love that she adds. She brings something.
She brings a vibe. In July 2013, she said, we're human beings and the sun is the sun. How can it be bad for you? I think we should all get sun and fresh air. I don't think anything that is natural can be bad for you. It's really good to have at least 15 minutes of sun a day. Oh, Gwenny.
No.
It's not that it's the skin cancer. That's the problem.
It is.
And when we're not wearing sunscreen.
But especially.
And I like how she's very obsessed with what is and isn't toxic in skincare, and that is something that is just not agreed on.
Which is ironic because she wants people to put a toxic jade egg up their vagina.
Vagina, exactly. Jessie, it's time.
Okay.
Charges and sentences, you go first.
All right, my first charge. Leave my vagina alone.
Okay.
It's mine.
Okay.
Sentence. Gwyneth has to personally, on her own, process all the refunded jade eggs with her hands. And what are you going to do with them? Resell them? They've been used. Put them in storage, in your house, in your warehouse. I don't know what you're going to do, Gwyneth, but take them out, look at the feathers, have a whiff of the bacterial vaginosis, which isn't meant to smell great, that you gave someone with your egg. Okay?
The thing is, they sold out, so there are so many of them, and the garbage bag is going to be really heavy.
Really heavy.
Okay, my first charge. Well, actually, no. Firstly, I want to say that Gwyneth's problem is just that she wants to sell stuff that has nothing to do with each other.
Okay. It's really hard when you have a brand and you don't know what it is.
Like, if you go into Goop, it's like a necklace and a singlet and seed lip and a wellness box. And how else is she meant to sell it all if she doesn't make some weird stuff up? I feel like Goop just gets sent weird shit that it has to sell, and then she makes up the story.
Right.
I think it's like Catch.com. And it's like, here's a cream.
Or like eBay or like Amazon, like something that's kind of a free-for-all where it's like, this thing, we have an oversupply of eggs. Like, make it happen.
Because all she's ever trying to do, like people are like, oh, Gwyneth wrote about this on Goop. No, all she's ever trying to do when you work in journalism, there's these things called affiliate links. And so you write an article and you link, well, certain publications like us, we only write about things that it's like we would be writing about that anyway. So I tried on a pair of jeans, I loved it, I've got a link. But it's an affiliate link and it means that if you came to it through Mamamia, we get a slight commission. Gwyneth is just the other way around.
She's
it's
raking
the products
in.
first.
Yeah.
She did an article about COVID. She's like, she got in trouble for this. She's like, I have these long-standing symptoms of COVID, which people are like, oh my God, thank God she believes in COVID. And then she's like, this is how I'm treating myself.
No,
and everyone's
okay,
like,
no.
no. And she's like, this necklace. And it's like, no, you just had a necklace to sell.
You
which
needed
is
an affiliate
fine.
link.
But it's just very random.
Okay,
So-
like what's your sentence though?
So my charge is making things up when she wants to sell shit.
Okay.
My sentence is that she needs to have a full-time doctor shadow her
Shadow.
and call her out on misinformation online and in real life. So every time she talks, the doctor's like, no, that's not true.
She needs like a fact checker doctor.
She needs a fact checker constantly.
Like Jen Gunter.
Yeah, that would be nice. They could pair them up. But it just means every time she's interviewed, every time she chucks out a rogue, I get stung by bees, there's a disclaimer, I'm her doctor. That has no health benefit. That's something Gwyneth chooses to do in her own time.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
All right. This is my final charge.
Okay.
Saying she invented things that are 5,000 years old, such as yoga.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
We have discovered this throughout this show, that the sentence doesn't always have to be related to
Okay,
the charge.
when you say we have discovered, you just created that.
It keeps it more interesting. The sentence is unrelated, but that's okay. I want her to personally deal with and reply to all complaints that come to her website for
Okay.
1 week.
Okay.
They will include my bee sting is itchy. My vagina is infected.
Okay.
There is a particular type of discharge in my underwear I wish to discuss. Attached is a photograph. It's green. My bee sting is still itchy. I think I'm allergic to bee stings.
Oh, no.
My vagina won't stop steaming. My husband thinks I'm a chimney. And so on and so forth. And she must reply to each one respectfully
Okay.
with important, helpful information, maybe with help from her doctor.
Okay, her doctor who's shadowing her.
Yeah.
Yes, lovely.
That discharge, it's BV. You need
Yes.
to be going to a gyno.
Yes. Okay, my final charge and sentence, before I get into it, I want to say that one thing that the justice system does really well and that often comes into people's sentences is the central tenet of karma. You got to do karma.
I love it when a judge just goes, look, what goes around comes back around.
Like, you steal from her, she's going to steal from you. That's what judges say in the high court.
All court is about is karma.
Yes. So my charge is pretending breakups are fine. They're not.
They're not.
They're not. And my sentence is Chris Martin suddenly turns petty. And he starts sending her messages being like, I don't like what you did to Apple's hair. I think Moses has a problem with you. And then he's like,
Starts bitching to Moses.
my mum hates you.
Always did.
Always
She
has.
never thought we were right for each other.
I have a problem with our wedding. Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We just need pettiness.
Publicly.
Yep. And then she's going to get petty in return because that's the only way we interact with each other. And then what are you going to write about?
New word.
Yeah.
Conscious petty. Pettying.
Just pettiness. Exactly. So in conclusion, karma is always the way. Maybe she needs a yeast infection.
No, we don't. We don't sentence women to yeast infections because they're not fun.
That's all we've got time for on Cancelled today. Thank you so much for listening. What we do after every episode on our Twins Thoughts Instagram, it's the twins_thoughts, we put up all the evidence to tender into court. Because how else are we going to tender it unless we put it on our Instagram?
Exactly. And then you can look at it, you can decide.
Yeah, for yourself, your own charges and sentences.
And then share them with us.
Exactly.
You can share on Instagram. We'd love to see where you were when you were listening to this podcast. Take a photo, tag us. We love that.
And please leave us a review if you like the show. If you don't, you could always keep it to yourself.
So
or
true.
bitch to a friend.
Privately.
to a friend
Send it
privately.
in a group chat and say, I hate this shit.
Yeah.
And then have a little chat.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.